Welcome into Buffalo Bills Weekly, where we're taking behind the scenes at One Bills Drive. He's Chris Brown, I'm Maddy Glab. For the first time since weeks 8 and 9, Buffalo has won back-to-back games. In their win against the Bengals, quarterback Josh Allen had an MVP performance. He knew when to push and he knew when to play it safe. It resulted in 4 touchdowns. That fourth quarter 40-yard rushing touchdown that he had showed that when Allen is in the flow state, he's unstoppable.
Yeah, and this is what we've kind of come to be accustomed to seeing from Josh Allen this time of year. I think the Bills have a pretty clear picture that they're in pretty much win now mode. They got to pretty much win the rest of the way as they're fighting for playoff seeding. When the stakes are raised, Josh Allen usually plays his best.
You know who else has played their best? Buffalo's defense has been tough and shown up when they needed it most. Against the Bengals, down 10 in the fourth quarter, the Bills got angry. They started to send corner blitzes to push the pocket. It worked. Back-to-back interceptions for the Bills, and one resulted in a pick six. What has allowed them to play at this level as of late?
Yeah, I think they've used a bunch of different tactics, and I think that's part of the reason why they've found success. You've mentioned the blitzes. Those have certainly worked, but I think also defensive coordinator Bobby Babich, head coach Sean McDermott, they recognize that they have a lack of manpower on that side of the ball due largely to injury. So they've spun the dial more, they've become more creative, and I think they've made their defense more unpredictable as a result, and they've gotten results because of it.
Over the last 4 games, Buffalo's defense has had 6 takeaways, which ties for 3rd most in the league over that span. Week 15 features a big-time matchup between the Patriots and the Bills. If the Bills win, they keep their division title hopes alive. The Patriots win, they're the AFC East winners. The Bills don't want to give up their 5-year division title streak to the team who's held it in the 11 prior seasons.
Yeah, and look, motivation is there already because of what is at stake here. You want to run the table right down to the end of the season. If it wins you the division, great. But you've also got a wild card playoff seed that's a tightly packed group of teams, and you're in a race there as well. So there's motivation enough to win this game for that reason alone. But you also don't want this to be a hat and t-shirt game for the Patriots in a head-to-head division matchup. So I think they're going to be supremely motivated to not have that happen. But they've got to be careful here because the Patriots are not the same team that gutted out a win back in week 5. They're a much better team now than that one. They've developed, they've evolved, particularly on offense.
We're previewing that Bills-Patriots matchup next. And also, you'll hear the best sound bites from the week. And later on, Mitch Morse delivers his Morse Code.
We're doing everything that we can to prepare as hard as we can to go out there and execute as well as we can on Sunday. We think we understand as a team what's at stake, but I don't think that's going to influence anything. It's the next game. It's the biggest game that we have because it's the next one, and all we're trying to focus on is putting together the best game plan that we can against a really good team. Doesn't guarantee you anything other than making the playoffs. And at the end of the day, that's our main goal is to make the playoffs. And we have an opportunity to put ourselves in a better position with going out there and playing a really hostile environment against a really good team that's playing extremely well right now. And we're just looking forward to the opportunity.
Yeah, I think it's anytime you're at home and you're an underdog, it's gives you something to play for a little bit. And I think you're really worried about all the whatever the underdog and whatever they set the line at. It's us first team regardless of if we put the ball down. It's gonna be 0-0 for 60 minutes. We know we got to play a full game, so we got some great players over there. We got some great coaches, and they've won the division for 5 years. So we got something that we need to go take, and it's gonna be hard to do, but we're up for it.
We're just taking one game at a time, right? The division is still open. We still got 4 games left. Anything can happen. But right now, we're just taking one game at a time. And this week, we got the Patriots.
What has Drake May done in year 2 that's made him work so well so far?
Well, coming from the NFC, I wasn't really paying attention to Drake. But the guy's a baller, man. He's all-around special talent at quarterback. He can throw, he can run. He makes great decisions. He definitely, for me, he definitely got a lot better since his rookie year, right? I mean, that's what you want to see in a franchise quarterback. That's what you want to see kind of in any player. So he has my respect.
How much do you embrace the opportunity to win the AFC East on Sunday?
Yeah, that's what you play for, right? I mean,
obviously I got the opportunity to come back here again, so it feels a little different this time of year, you know, being able to really compete for this division. So, I mean, this is, if you're a competitive individual, this is exactly the situation you would want to be in.
How much do you look at Buffalo and think, you know, as an offense, we got to compete full 60 minutes because of what they're able to do at the end of games?
Yeah, I mean, their quarterback won an MVP. I mean, they're never out of it. I mean, there's, especially with that guy, he's one throw away from bombing it 70 yards down the field and being right back in the football game. So, I mean, you cannot take a nap out there.
They want to be physical. They want to get back to, just hard-nosed football, kind of just beat you up in the run game, and then they have explosive guys, receivers that can, do some things. So you just got to have a quarterback that's playing pretty good right now. So I think they're still trying to figure out who they're going to be in a way of how good do they want to be, I guess.
You've been around here for a lot of good stuff that's happened. 5 division titles in a row. They can win it.
Yeah.
This week. Is that on everybody's mind?
I wouldn't say so. Honestly, didn't even think about it until you just said it. So I think the mentality here is just another game. It's a big game because it's the next one.
Yeah, the focus is on Buffalo. They're a great team. They played a great game versus Cincinnati. And now we're back to, our business.
And how much do you embrace the opportunity to win an AFC East title Sunday?
Embrace it a lot. We're playing the guys that, won the division and everything like that for, a lot of years. So being able to play this game and everything at home, we want to take advantage of the opportunity.
Josh Allen, he never gives up, is always in it towards the end. What is it like for you guys as a defense going up against and preparing for an offense who, brings that kind of mentality that they're not just going to 3 quarters in go, well, this is not our day?
Yeah, from the first whistle to the last, we got to start fast and then also finish the game. Like last game versus Cincinnati, they came back and all the way into the final whistle in the 4th quarter. So
they did a good job changing some of the roster over and bringing in some players, especially along the defensive front, perimeter players, wide receiver wise and whatnot. And, they're well coached. They do a really good job. Mike does, and Josh McDaniels, and across their coaching staff. You can just feel a difference in what they've done and how they're doing things. And so, we have a ton of respect, obviously, for the way that they've played this year in particular. Just another year of experience, another year of maturity in the NFL and understanding NFL defenses. Really good player, very athletic, does a really good job in their offense in particular. And Josh does a phenomenal job of developing quarterbacks, Josh McDaniels, and he's done it. He's done it several times before, and this is no different. So May is playing at a very, very high level.
Emphasize or bring up a hat and T-shirt game this week for your team?
No, I don't use the hat and T-shirt. We're just trying to play for the championship that we have available this week. And I think it's a great testament to our players that have put us in this position to be able to do that. And again, it's not going to be easy. This is a very good football team. There's a reason that they've won this division 5 years in a row. A lot of respect for them. They're never out of it, never down. They may be down, and just like last week, it's a football team that understands that, somebody's going to make a play, and then the quarterback is going to give them a chance to the very end.
All right, it's time for Morse Code, and who better to handle that than Mitch Morse, former Bills center. And Mitch, let's begin here. We've turned the page to December, and the picture of what a team needs to achieve comes in clearer focus with respect to the postseason. How does that impact your physical and mental focus at this time of the season?
Great question, Chris. I think for players, it's an arduous and long season, right? For the fan, it feels like seasons fly by, falls fly by. For players, it can be an absolute grind. And when you see not the proverbial light at the end of the tunnel, but you see how it's going to play out, you see that these weeks are coming to an end and the playoffs coming down the pipe eventually, it does create that clarity. What it also does is now you've had plenty of time on task. You've honed your fundamentals, you've honed your techniques, you understand what's working well for you. It's about that time where Sean takes off the pads You have a few more walkthroughs. You have a little bit fresher perspective. You have a little bit fresher body. Inflammation's still kind of a problem, but yeah, there is that clarity. There's this comfortable kind of movement and flow about the work day, the work week, and Christmas is right around the corner, big guy, and no one loves Christmas more than football players. Let me tell you that.
I did not know that. Josh Allen is once again delivering late in the season to no one's surprise. Always seems to raise his level of play, not only late in the year, but in particular when he's facing one of his fellow elite quarterbacks. That happened again this past week. You've been in the huddle with him in those situations. Where does his on-field demeanor go in games, and do you notice a different gleam in his eyes, so to speak, for games like we saw last week?
Well, snow definitely reflects gleam, and Josh in December kind of hits his stride, right? It's a broken record, but it's a broken record of a song I want to hear over and over and over again. Like, let the guy use his legs, let the guy take over. He's just a gamer. And in those moments when you and I, maybe a Gentile or layman, I'm not calling you Gentile or layman, Chris, but like when we would see stress as maybe a debilitating thing, everything focuses, it becomes fine-tuned for him, and he gets in that crazy flow state.
Yeah, in the zone for sure. I don't have to tell you, this is a giant division game here this week with the Patriots, and we know for the Bills, overtaking the division is a long shot, but we also know they don't want to be on the wrong end of a division-clinching win for New England. Tell me what kind of motivation that can provide this crew, and how much does it help for the Bills to know they're only 2 years removed from being in a similar situation when they walk down Miami for the division title?
Yes, the division seems to be not out of reach, but it's definitely a little bit harder to attain this year. That being said, more than anything, more than playoff implications, more than home field advantage, all this stuff, I think this just comes down to pure hate. Right? These two teams just do not like each other.
Yeah.
And maybe that's not the, ever since Tom Brady, whatever you want to call it. When I stepped into that locker room, this team is the one you think about, you hate seeing, you hate going to. The fans are a little bit spicy. And you know what? That makes for really good football. And more than anything, yeah, you do not want to be on the other end of a hat and T-shirts game.
Yeah, amen to that. And let's hope it doesn't happen this week. Mitch, thanks for the time. Appreciate the insight. We'll catch up with you next week.
You bet. Thanks, Chris.
All right, stay tuned right where you are, because when we come back, we'll have the latest update on new Highmark Stadium here on Buffalo Bills Weekly.
Welcome back to Buffalo Bills Weekly. It's time to take a sneak peek at what's happening across the street with the new Highmark Stadium in our Built for Buffalo series, where they document every single element of how the stadium is coming together. Take a look.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the highly anticipated topping out ceremony.
Wow, it's been a whirlwind.
This is an extraordinary community.
Well, backing up even to 2023, a lot of effort to get started, big excavation and foundation job.
They deserve an extraordinary stadium.
2024 was really about having a building come up out of the ground.
This is going to secure this franchise here for decades.
25 feels like we've started to take that big, impressive structure and turn it into the future home of the Buffalo Bills.
As it's really coming to life, I think it's exceeding expectations. Every day is something new and unique and exciting. We're trying to tell stories everywhere.
From the very beginning, we look at this as this combination of science and art. It's that balance.
We can break it up into almost every part of the building.
All the things that we've been talking about for so long have been integral to the design and what's going to really make the place unique.
Now you walk through and you get a sense of what game day may feel like.
People start to see it looking like a football stadium.
You realize not only how big the stadium is, but the impact this stadium has had in this community.
And you got the monster over here ready for Bills Mafia.
There's a dramatic difference between the existing Highmark and the new Highmark.
You start to see it go up and up and up.
Until the facade started going up, you didn't really appreciate the mass of the building.
Top tier, man. I underestimated the hell out of this.
Everybody sees it. When they drive down Abbott Road or they come down Southwestern.
Come down this little dip and then you come up and it's like,
There it is.
On a clear day, when it's sunny, I can actually see the glistening off the top of that canopy.
It's so modern, it's so beautiful.
But to see it like this is insane.
The drama, the majesty of it.
And just knowing like this is what's coming in 26.
It's given Orchard Park a new skyline.
That has all the history, but now you're going to create some more history over here.
So what would new Highmark say to the fans?
Fasten your seatbelts.
Going to be better than anyone can expect.
You can watch the full episode of Built for Buffalo on the Bills YouTube channel or buffalobills.com. Coming up, Chris and I preview the big game in Foxborough on Sunday. Welcome back to Buffalo Bills Weekly. The Bills are back on the road for an important matchup against the New England Patriots in Week 15. The Patriots team Buffalo will see on Sunday very different than the team they played in Week 5. The Patriots are on a 10-game win streak. They're playing confident and beating teams by an average of 9 points per game.
Yeah, and the other thing is, yes, they're playing a fourth-place schedule. They've benefited from that. You can't blame them for who they have to play and who's on their schedule. But I think more importantly, a picture of that consistency comes in the current streak they're on. It's basically 10 straight games in which they've scored at least 23 points and given up fewer than 23. Obviously, if you're scoring more points than your opponent, you're going to win games. But I think it just speaks to the consistency of their scoring, the consistency of their defense. And that's why when they get to the end of these games, they're usually on the right side of it and putting another one in the win column.
And we know New England's coach, Mike Vrabel, he elevates the level of everyone on that team. The quarterbacks, Josh Allen and Drake May, are the catalysts for their respective teams. Allen has the clutch gene. A game is never over with him at the helm. He's second in the NFL right now in touchdowns. May is Mr. Efficient. He's made great decisions in his second year in the NFL. He leads the NFL with a 71.5% completion percentage.
Yeah, this is a whale of a quarterback matchup. We got one last week with Burrow and Allen. We get another one this week with May and Allen because these are the top two rated passers in the AFC. May at 111.9, Josh at 102.9. And look, you got to give credit to New England offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels. He's done an excellent job of providing May with as much pre-snap information as possible to help him make the right decisions. McDaniels also prioritizes protection in every play he calls to give May the extra half second a younger, less experienced quarterback might need to decipher what he's looking at and make a quality decision. McDaniels is probably up for Assistant Coach of the Year with the job he has done with Drake May this season.
Yeah, giving a young quarterback like Drake May all the information he needs pre-snap in a game like this, Buffalo's defense has to disguise what they're doing.
Yeah, and they've done a good job of that, I think, in recent weeks. They've crossed some people up. Joe Burrow is kind of a unicorn. His superpower is post-snap recognition and making decisions. May is still learning that, so hopefully they can get him on a few.
In a game like this, you need your best players to be at their best. It's about leveling up and locking in. What is one matchup Buffalo has to win?
Well, I think they have to get to May pressure-wise, force him into some hurried decisions. So that's a key matchup for me. And look, this is a team that we said has evolved on offense. They're running the ball a lot better now than they were earlier in the season. Rookie Travion Henderson has been a revelation for their run game. I think he's going to see a lot of action. He is a home run threat, just like James Cook is. We've seen Buffalo's run defense improve in the last couple of weeks. They have not given up more than 75 yards on the ground. That's a plus. So I think if this run defense we've seen the last 2 weeks can come and show up in New England, they can make the Patriots one-dimensional on offense and then get after May.
In terms of getting after May and setting pressure at him, is this a game where we see some exotic blitzing from the Bills?
I think they're going to have to get creative again, especially if Joey Bosa is either A, not playing, or B, not 100% and just trying to gut it out. Much like last week when they got creative against Burrow in the second half, I think they're going to have to get creative again.
The matchup that Buffalo has to win is their rushing offense has to find success against the Patriots' third-ranked run defense. Buffalo's rushing offense is their biggest strength, and flexing that muscle allows them to control the game. If the Bills can control time of possession, you keep Drake May and the efficient offense off the field. You don't want to give May more possessions than he needs.
Right, and for the Bills offense, just get to the red zone. That is the key. The Patriots defense has given up the fewest red zone possessions in the league this season, but when you get there, you will score. They have the worst red zone defense in terms of keeping teams out of the end zone. 73% touchdown efficiency for their opponents. Get down there, you'll get in.
Offensively, too, New England has struggled in the red zone. They're ranked 24th, so this is going to be an important game where once you get into the red zone, score, and on defense, keep the Patriots from scoring.
Yeah, keep them kicking field goals. Don't let them in the end zone.
We want to thank you for tuning in to Buffalo Bills Weekly. For Chris Brown, I'm Maddy Glab. We'll see you next week.